Hello everyone, Harry Baldock here, editor for Total Telecom. We're here on day one of Connected Britain. I'm delighted to be joined by Duncan Hawkins, the VP of Sales Europe, Middle East and Africa for Ericsson. Duncan, how's your morning going so far?
Morning's been great, great opening keynote, and I've just come off stage on the private network session in Hall 6, which was well received and very full.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to talking about that with you in just a moment. Firstly, let's start with the biggest opportunities for 5G and wireless. What do you see as the biggest potential there?
So I think 5G and wireless obviously has a huge opportunity to do good for society, but also in industry. So I think it's the enterprise bit I'll focus on now. I think we've got an opportunity to connect things at a level of a performance that's never seen before, connect new devices, and we live in this sort of data-rich world, AI, automation, and actually without the connectivity, capturing that information to make the right business decisions and all the great things that can do, 5G is fundamental to that.
And in terms of the UK as a market, where do you think we are in terms of 5G in general, but particularly with enterprise?
So for enterprise, I actually put us up there in the leading markets of the world, and it's been driven really by the spectrum piece. So Ofcom's been quite forward-thinking, dare I say, in allowing enterprises to have both the public spectrum and shared spectrum. So that means organisations can actually, actively go and adopt the technologies, experiment with the technologies. There's been good funding from the government as well. So, we put sort of the US, Germany, France, UK, Japan as those top markets. So, and as Ericsson in those markets, it's great to be a leader and seeing how we can help do good for, connecting Britain.
So the spectrum makes the environment pretty favourable, but in terms of challenges to going forward and growing that market for the enterprise segment, what do you think are the biggest challenges?
So, okay, this is a difficult one because I always say to people what the biggest challenge is, and there's multiple challenges. So, actually, people think of 5G as a consumer, as a phone or a tablet. In enterprise, it's not. It's the drone, it's the robot, it's the sensor, it's the camera. And those technologies as a 5G native technology, out the box, put a SIM card in, are starting to trickle through slowly. So yes, we can retrospectively connect using wireless gateways. Adoption is happening, but that's sort of the biggest challenge because actually, as humans, we like to be able to see and touch things. The other way of looking at the challenge is actually the skills and the partnerships in place. So it's a very different purchase to purchasing conventional IT. It's a very different deployment, yet it still needs to integrate with that existing cloud application, cybersecurity stack. So there's a skills and device piece going on. Really debunking all the confusion. There's a lot of early Wi-Fi versus 5G kind of conversations, and they're complementary technologies. It's just getting people to think about actually, bring it right back to the top. What sustainability goals can we hit? What productivity goals can we hit? It's back down to helping people understand more connectivity, more coverage, more information, and we'll start to overcome those challenges.
And obviously, there's already a lot of kind of live use cases now out in the market in terms of enterprises, in terms of major industries, particularly in the private networking space. Maybe you can tell us some more about your favourites, perhaps.
Yeah, this is a really cool part of what we're doing. We're like never before having very senior conversations about those points I just mentioned about sustainability, productivity. So like really key sort of board objectives and health and safety as well. And then we go to the next level down, we go onto the manufacturing floor. You're walking between new cars that maybe you haven't seen out in public yet, all sorts of technologies that we need to connect. So a lot of challenges put at us, but like a real opportunity. And you go to a port and you sort of see the scale of the impact there. And again, the sustainability thing from an environmental perspective, the security and surveillance piece. So yeah, it's so broad. And I was asked in the panel, give us more examples of use cases, and literally my brain is exploding with use cases, and that's where the skills thing comes back, and really engaging with businesses and trying to understand how the technology can be used to do good, better, and change. Not what's that cool device, how many meg, what's the latency kind of conversation. It's
a mindset change, and in terms of that kind of, I guess the main investment drivers, convincing these people to put the money in and kind of make that leap. What do you see as the main drivers for the end customer, organisations, when it comes to investing in wireless?
Yeah, so I guess at a very top level, people look at profitability and top line, don't they? So if you can make a product, get it to market quicker, if you can make more of it in less time, using less materials, less mistakes, right first time, that's obviously a key driver. But actually, when we dig a bit deeper, when we talk about loss of life, insurance policies, the impact of the business, stopping business because if there is a loss of life in the environment and it's shut down for an investigation. So, there are many ways in which actually the business can be justified. I was trying to think of another example. So, yeah, I mean, you've got that top line production piece, you've got the mitigation of loss of life. I guess, it comes down to also if a product fails or the life expectancy, if the quality is not good. So if it could have been made better so the product was delivered on time, lasted longer, that customer's going to return. So that the brand, so there's so many ways in which we can trigger the investment. So we've got companies where their products aren't being made as good as they should, and we're helping them improve that. We've got companies who want to double output because the demand is that good for their products and services. We can help with that. And we've got those companies that need to mitigate. Yeah, we've got our stats aren't great from a CSR point of view. We need to make our workers safer. So yeah, all sorts of avenues to free up budget for the investment.
Yeah, and all very important. Duncan, it's been great speaking to you. Thanks so much for your time today.